The Redline Guru arrow rest. Let's see what the hype's about. Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com, looking at the Redline Guru arrow rest. At first glance, this just looks like a prophecy, and it is made by AAE for Redline, to my understanding of it. And near as I can tell, the only real difference is it doesn't have micro adjust. Now, ideally, you would want micro adjust on an arrow rest, but I want to say it's like almost $90 less than a prophecy. These come in at $159.99. Has the same silent draw pig hide that I've never actually seen one of these wear off. Whatever these are made out of are really freaking phenomenal. It is a fully contained full capture arrow rest. The internals of this are 100% US made. These just don't wear out. Plain and simple. They're very durable, last a long time. They claim 250,000 shots or something like that, 5 times more than the average arrow rest. There are sealed stainless steel bearings in here, which when you get this up, there is 0 tolerance. So if you want to talk about quality of tolerance and movement, put your arrow rest in the up position, grab it, and try to move it up and down. This dowel does not move. It is firm and stiff, which means you'll have less variance in your shot, which is a good thing. The launcher, they actually use a flexible polymer, and it's actually pretty smart because it's not going to break. A lot of these plastic launchers are rigid, and if you smack something on it, you can actually crack the launcher. This gives, so that's a definite plus, and it looks like it has a little built-in arrow rest shelf back here for when you do have it down. You must cock this up in place to shoot it. Okay, you can't draw it back and lift it up, so if I have to give you a negative, that's probably the one negative. But once it's up, it can't move. It's locked, it's rigid. Now this same mechanism also stays up for a longer period of time and falls faster, which gives you greater stability. So if you're going to use a cable-driven rest, that's a nice feature because that's one of the things I like about a limb-driven rest. It tends to stay up longer and falls faster. And it has an internal anti-bounce feature. So when it goes down, it won't pop back up, which some arrow rests, you'll see them. You got to like let go of it. It won't cock down, and then it will. Some of them will bounce back up. This does not do that. It's a little stiff almost when it comes down. It's like it sticks. So supposedly at slow-mo, this won't bounce back up. If we already bolt on a bow, see how it looks for standard adjustments and make sure it's somewhere in the middle of the adjustment range. You can move this rest forward and backward somewhat, which is pretty cool. Not all rests give you that option, and with a generic setup like on this Bowtech, for example, it would allow you to put 2 bolts in it when you mounted it. So you could put it in the front mount and the rear mount, and there are several bows that offer multiple bolt mounting positions. There are easy adjustment features. We'll go ahead and just try to throw 2 screws in it. These are gonna touch because of the hole position closeness. If you used socket cap screws, it should go right in. Feels a little stiff. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put that in there. The screw doesn't feel, no, there's something wrong with that. That one's got some burrs on it. We don't want to use that. This is the type of screw you would use if you were going to use 2. Socket cap. It's not as wide here, so they won't touch when you go to put them in. Let's see if I have a appropriate wrench. There we go. This should let me get 2 on here. That is, I really prefer rests that allow you to do this, although ironically almost anymore none of them do. I like being able to put 2 screws in them because when you tighten them both down, it gets it square flush and it can't rotate. So I really like that feature. Gonna move these over. I'm not gonna tie this in because I've used this mechanism multiple times and I know it works well, but there is a really cool feature on this too, that if this stretched on you over time and this got a little longer, which is a common problem with that type of an arrow rest, a fall down rest, there's a set screw on the side here for adjusting the length of the cord. It's super simple. So just loosen that screw, pull it a little tighter, tighten the screw back in. Voila, you've readjusted your tension. And then you can hard mount this on the other end so it can't ever change. So i.e. put it through the cord, tie a knot in it, melt it off, and make it to where it doesn't have an adjustment on this end. Or you can use whatever kind of football or clamping mechanism you like to use down here. I'd rather tie it in myself personally. So looking at the left to right position here, that needs to come in a little bit. There is an infinite amount of left to right adjustment down here too. So these 2 set screws right here, You loosen those up and can slide it in, slide it out. It's really simple. Easy going unit. A little more here just so we make sure we got it launched right. The only other issue you may run into is this touching this, depending on how far you move it in. But it doesn't come back itself past there. You'd have to physically push it. So you should be able to move this as far this way as you want without touching your cage over the top there. And that's about where that's probably going to tune. So without even adjusting those screws, which you can easily do, we had more than enough adjustment there. Our knock height looks a little low. We probably move this up just a skosh and make sure on this bow it doesn't touch anything. And there's a mile of clearance here, so I don't see how this would ever be an issue. Let's stick it down here real quick just to check. Yeah, that's about where you'd want it. And there's still plenty of up and down adjustment and plenty of left to right adjustment. So, I mean, I'm not exactly shocked or surprised by that because, like I said, this is basically a slide adjust version of the Prophecy. And coming in at $159.99, it's right in the mid price point for all the arrow rests that are like this. And I know the internals of these things are bomb proof because they've been making that rest for a while and it really works really, really well. So this is a Redline product from Redline Archery. They make the torch sight that you've probably seen a lot on there, and they've looking to try to push it a little more into American-made stuff, and this is 100% American-made internals on this rest. I'm really happy to see that. It feels crisp and clean like it should. We don't have these on the website yet, but we should have some soon. So if you're interested in them, head over to the website and give one a purchase. $159.95 is really not bad for what this is. So comment down below on what you think of this rest, or maybe you've had one, maybe you got one, maybe you had a good experience, bad experience. It's always good to share, but nothing else jumping out on me to point out, so I think I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks for watching.